Hello to all. I am Dr. B.K. Deshpande, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Cambridge Institute of Technology, Kyarpuram, Bengaluru. Today's topic is priority scheduling. Mode is non-preemptive. When I say a priority scheduling, we are supposed to see the priority of the process. And non-preemptive means when the process is being executed and that particular process cannot be taken out during the execution. Let us see the problem which is given in the table. Now in the first column process are mentioned P1 to P7. Priorities also mentioned. Okay, priorities of the corresponding processes are also mentioned. Arrival time of the each process is given and burst time of the corresponding process is also mentioned. Now first point you need to remember, as far as this problem is concerned, it is given as lesser the number, higher the priority. That means you see the column of priority, lesser the number. P7 has got the lesser number, that means which has got the highest priority. Okay, since arrival time and burst time is also given in this table, in this case we have considered lesser the number, higher the priority. Now most of the times what happens is they normally don't mention the arrival time in the table. That means they may say that arrival time of the all process is 0. That time what you have to take, again you have to consider same thing, lesser the number, higher the priority. Correct? Lesser the number, higher the priority. Anyway they will give it, they will have to give it, this one, as far as this priority scheduling is concerned, my dear students. Or else most of the times they don't like any mention. When they don't mention in the problem, then you have to assume it, lesser the number, higher the priority. Correct? If they mention in the problem that higher the number, highest the priority, then you have to consider it. Anyway they will give it. Okay, otherwise you have to assume it. This is the basic assumption, lesser the number, higher the priority. Correct? Next, here arrival time is given, my dear students. Okay, now as far as this given data is concerned, lesser the number, higher the priority, P7 is highest priority. Correct? Now as per our assumption, as per the given data rather. Okay, P7 is 1, arrival time is 10. Now very important, you can't like schedule the process P7, that is wrong. Okay, that is wrong. You also have to see the arrival time of the corresponding process. Its arrival time is 10, then you can't take it. But arrival time of the P1 is 0. Obviously you have to schedule P1 process, okay, in the Gantt chart, my dear student. Okay, yes. Now you can see here, first process which is going to be scheduled in the Gantt chart is P1. Okay, what is its burst time? 8. Okay, 8. Now you can see here, okay, at the completion of P1, okay, at 8 seconds. Now you have to see the processes. Correct? Now at within 8 seconds, okay, what are the processes are going to arrive? That means P2 is arrived, okay, P3 is arrived, P4 is arrived, P5 is arrived, and P6 is also arrived. P6 is also arrived, okay, at 8 seconds. Now, right? Now you can see here. Now again you have to consider it. Out of P2, P3, P4, P5 and P6, which has got more priority? That I told you, lesser the number, higher the priority, we are considering it. Okay, then P5 is the priority, correct? P5, right? What is its burst time? 6. 8 plus 6, 14. Now, very important again, since P5 is completed at 14 seconds, within 14 seconds one more process is arrived, P7. That is a very important, correct? Now at some point of time, at 10 seconds, it's arrived at 10 seconds. Here it has arrived it. That means what is its priority? First priority. Okay, one is the higher priority, correct? No, that's what, as far as our given data is concerned, lesser the number, higher the priority. So that you have to schedule this process, very important, immediately after P5. P7, okay, what is its burst time? 1 is the burst time, 14 plus 1, 15. Okay, now out of this you have to consider it, right? So that P1, P5 and P7, P1, P5 and P7 are scheduled. Now P2 and P3, P2 and P3, now you can see here, P2 priority is 4, P3's priority is also 4, correct? Right? That time what you have to understand, its arrival time is 1, P3's arrival time is 3, correct now? Then obviously you have to give the chance to the P2, because since it is arrived first here, correct? Yes. Then suppose if the arrival time of the both processes are same, P2 and P3's, suppose, then what you have to do, you have to consider the process ID. That means what? Number, like it has arrived first, P3 is arrived after P2. If that arrival time of the both process are same, in spite of priorities are also same. Okay, now here the case is what? P2's arrival time is 1, P3's arrival time is 3. Then you have to give the prominence to the P2, right? P2. That means what? 15 plus 2, burst time. 15 plus 2, 17. Then P3. P3. Okay, what is its burst time? 4. 17 plus 4, 21. Next, P4 and P6 you have to consider it. P4 and P6. P4 priority is 5 and P6 priority is 6. Okay, these two. That means what? Again we have to consider here, lesser the number, higher the priority. Higher the priority. That means what? P4 has got highest priority. That means what? Its burst time is 1. That means what? 21. This is P4. P4, that means 21 plus 1, 22. Next one, which is the process? P6. Right? P6. That means what? What is its burst time? Burst time is 5. 22 plus 5, 27. Okay? Sorry. P6, 27, right? So that this way all processes have scheduled in the Gantt chart. Okay, now completion time. How to find out the completion time? You can search or traverse from right to left of the Gantt chart, correct? So that P7 is complete, P6 is completed at which time? P6 is 27. P4 is completed at 22. Next, P3 is completed at 21. P2 is completed at 17. P7 is completed at 15. Correct? Next, what is remaining? P5 is completed at 14. Right? P1 is completed at 8. Right? Now this is how we found out the completion time of all the processes. Even also you can check it up here by just comparing from left to right, where exactly that particular process is completed. Now you have to find out turnaround time. How to find the turnaround time? Completion time minus arrival time. 8 minus 0, 8. Then for the P2 process, 17 minus 1, 16. Next for P3, 21 minus 3, 18. Next for P4, 22 minus 4, 18. Next for the P5 process, 14 minus 5, 9. Next for P6 process, 27 minus 6, 21. For the P1 process, 15 minus 10 is 5. Next column is waiting time. Waiting time should be found out from turnaround time minus burst time. 8 minus 8, 0. 16 minus 2 for the P2 process, 14. Right? Next P3, 18 minus 4, again 14. For the P4 process, 18 minus 1, 17. Next 9 minus 6, 3. Next P6, 21 minus 5, 16. Next P7, 5 minus 1, 4. Okay. Now you have to find out average turnaround time as well as average waiting time. Average turnaround time can be found out by adding individual turnaround time divided by number of processes. So that by adding all the individual turnaround time, we get 95 divided by 7. 7 is the number of processes. Number of processes are 7. That means average turnaround time is 13.57. Average waiting time can be found out by adding the individual waiting time of the processes. By adding, you will get 68 divided by number of 7. 7 is the number of processes. It will come around 9.71. Okay, in this way we found out average turnaround time as well as average waiting time. Okay. Yes, my dear students, I hope you have understood the priority scheduling algorithm and the mode is non-preemptive. Thank you very much.